Welcome to the Tonya Hoffman's fabulous TV show. I am Tonya Hoffman, and why is it so fabulous? Because I have fabulous guest stars like Rex Sikes. Hey,
Hey,
Rex! So we're going to hear all about things, amazing things. Oh my gosh, talk about abundance. We are talking about abundance today. So stick around. Really quickly though, make sure you go out and start changing the world from the front of the room by getting involved with the Public Speakers Association. So how do you do that? Go to the website, Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out.com, and all the details are there. We got fun games and we've got all kinds of stuff that you can take advantage of. So tell me, Rex, tell me about you and how fabulous you are.
oh, I am just completely fabulous, beyond belief. I am marvelous. Hey, I want to say first off, before I even get into how wonderful I truly am, and I say that with a wink, is I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored to be here, and I am a Public Speakers Association member, as you know, and I just want everybody else to know that too. It's a great organization. I hope you will take the time to join and change people from the front of the room, as Tonya suggests. So, but I'm Rex Sikes. I have the luxury of living the life of my dreams the way I want to live. Obviously, when I say that, things can always be better. We're always growing and evolving, but I spend my time how I want to spend my time, doing what I want to do, with whom I want to do, where I want to go, and my money works for me. So I have a very wonderful life. I'm very thrilled. It wasn't always that way. In my 20s, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. I was broke. I had a situation occur where I was nearly killed by a doctor. I had amnesia for a good 6 months or more, and it took me about 18 months to reclaim my life. I went really down into the gutter and had problems with alcohol and prescription medicine, which is what the doctor gave me. I mean, it was bad prescription drugs is what almost did me in. But as a result of that, I found out I had to reach inside myself and decide that I was going to make a change. And I decided that I wasn't going to leave my apartment. I wasn't going to leave my easy boy reclining chair until I could make a change and go out and face the world and get my friends back, get my career back, get my life back, and do so confidently. And I sat in the chair and I visualized. I used hypnosis. I did visualization. I did everything. And then finally I found something that worked. And it made all of the difference, and I began to feel better. And I've been sharing that ever since. And I'm happy to tell you about that sometime. Today I know we're talking about a little bit of different topic, but that key was the key that made all the difference for me and led me on a path, and I've been sharing it now for 40 years.
Wow. So you can't leave us like hanging. So tell us, what's the secret of getting off of your chair and making things happen?
In a nutshell, I give it to you very powerfully, and there are articles about this out there, and other people have piggybacked on the work. What I did, I didn't invent. What I did was I discovered something that had been around since the dawn of humankind, and that was questions. I discovered how to direct my mind using questions. See, most people ask questions like, they go, why do I suck? How come life is crappy? Why can't I get ahead? How come I'm in the hole and I'm in debt from week to week? And I sat in a chair going, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Nothing seemed to work. And I went, how come nothing works for me? Why can't I begin to make changes? What is it I need to do to begin to feel better? And people say, how long does it take before I feel better? And I went, how soon am I going to be able to start feeling good? What do I need to do? Where do I need to put my attention? What do I need to focus on in order to begin to feel different? And as I began to ask questions, began to change my life. So I created something called directed questions. It's a methodology. I was going to put it out as a product, but I decided not to, because what I wanted to do is I wanted people to learn how to do this, not have it handed to them. Because if you read off a sheet, it's just like saying affirmations. Affirmations don't work for most people because most people don't know how to make them work. And I didn't know how to make them work in that chair. What I did was I affirmed, and it's not the words. Emile Coué said, every day and every way I'm getting better and better every day. And while that can help, for most people, just to recite that verbatim and by rote doesn't do anything. The military knows how to make it work, because the military does what's called cadence. The military chants and declares and sings and uses rhythm to make powerful messages to take young men and women, turn them from the average Joe and Jane citizen into trained military troops. And they do it through powerful, affect, the emotion, the chanting, the physicality. So if you go every day and every way I'm getting better, that's not the same as going every day and every way I'm getting better and better and using all of your enthusiasm and emotion. So I'm sitting in a chair going every day and every way I'm getting better and better, and it didn't work. I am powerful. I am confident. It doesn't work. And I'm visualizing this stuff and going, wow, I'm feeling real. It doesn't work. But what happens with questions, which most people don't realize, is it creates something called the transderivational search. And you know this, and everyone knows this because of the tip of the tongue phenomenon, which is, you trying to remember a name of a movie or a friend or somewhere you ate dinner or what it was, and you don't know, and you go, I can't remember. And you forget about it and you let go, but your brain doesn't forget about it. So somewhere else, you're doing something an hour later, 2 minutes, whatever, and you go, oh, it was Bob. It was Bob. That's what I'm trying to remember. Your brain continues to work on things after you stop, after your conscious mind, because your conscious mind can only pay attention to a little bit of information at a time. The unconscious, the subconscious, the non-conscious parts of us do trillions of bits of processing every second. I mean, just to look at what the body does, what every cell does in relation to every other cell in the body, in every second is billions of things that go on. I mean, so our unconscious minds, our non-conscious portions of us continue to work on things after we give up or if we divert our attention. And so with that in mind, when you say, how quickly can I discover making a change? You don't know the answer to that, but your brain will continue to look. If you say, what's the capital of Wisconsin? Your brain will tell you, well, it's Madison. It knows. If it doesn't, you don't want to ask a yes or no question. You want to ask a question that you don't know the answer to, but directs you in the way that is useful for you to move. So you travel a little bit in advance of the world by going out to that future you and then asking questions about how to get there. Now I'm giving the whole thing away here, but this is how I created abundance for my life. This is how I made changes for me. This wasn't what I was going to talk about. So they're getting a huge golden piece of information right now, and a nugget that will absolutely transform your life when you learn how to use it.
Yes.
Now, again, it's not just saying, how soon am I going to change and doing it the Emil Coué way. It is learning how to ask questions, how to direct them, and even how to distract your mind while you ask questions. And so I use other language patterns and things and stuff that all go into the notion of directed questions. Now, somebody else piggybacked on my work back in the 90s. I started this in the 80s. They came out with books on it, and to great effect, but they've missed the heart of my work. Then somebody else in 99 came out with another version. I've been a former student of mine, came out with another version of it, missed the heart of it. So people have been using this all along. I didn't invent questions. I just figured out a way to use questions, like the Socratic method was used to help people gain greater clarity. I found a way to use questions that allowed people to break free of what limits and stops them and move powerfully forward into the future. And so I've been teaching that since 1980.
Wow. I'm kind of blown away. And that give us all this right now. I'm like, yes. I'm like, ooh, I need to have my husband listen to this. And I need to
yeah, have everyone listen to it. I agree, because it is so transformative. But thank you. I interrupted you. What were you going to?
It's so brilliant. And I think the thing that's sad to me is that not enough people know you.
Well, and that's partly my fault. My other side of me is I've been teaching acting since I was a teenager and performance stuff. I started teaching professional development programs and meditation and hypnosis and then neuro-linguistic programming in the 80s and 90s. And then I wanted to go back into movies. So I traveled all around the world. I had some people flying all around the world to a 100-acre retreat center that we used to do seminars. Most of the year was devoted to training and teaching people. And then I went behind the scenes. I said, you know what, I'm done doing the public thing. I'm going to make the movies and have fun. I'm going to live my life and do what I want. And then I would coach and I would mentor and I would consult for businesses. So I literally pulled back. In about 2012, I decided, a student of mine said, you got to come back out. You got to stop being retired and you got to come back out. And will you teach again? And I said, okay. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. So slowly, every little bit, I've been moving more and more out in the public eye again, still making the movies and the TV, still, because part of my life, what again, people don't know is that I'm a divorced dad, and I'm from California, and my kids are in Wisconsin. My ex-wife is from Wisconsin, and I chose, when we got divorced, they were very little, I decided I wanted to stay with my children and raise my children. And I did. I had them about 80% of the time. But I wanted to raise my children and have them have a father. And so I suspended a lot of things. When my daughter was born, I was in Australia. I was here for her birth, and then I went to Australia. And I hated it. Because I was 3 days away by travel in case anything happened. You can't get back from Australia overnight. And I said, I'm not going to do that. So I reined everything. And I became more of a public speaker. I did after dinner speaking and keynote speaking, where I go, if I can drive there and get back, or if I can fly to New York and get back in a day, I'll do that. But I'm not going to do the travel around the world stuff. So I devoted myself to being a stay-at-home dad. Nice. So from the time they were little until now, my daughter's now 19, my son is 15. So now I'm starting to take my life back, starting to do the kinds of things that, as opposed to threatening to retire on an island somewhere, which is ripe for a dictatorship to take over. I am. And I'm glad, because I was able to do all of that. I was able to stay home when I wanted to stay home and not have to work and not have to do things and take the jobs that I wanted to take when I wanted to take them. So I do. I've got a fabulous life, and I've had a fabulous life. Yes. So I want to share that with other people and how they get to do that. And one of the ways they get to do that is by learning how to use questions. And I'm happy. I've got a workshop coming up. We'll talk more about that, but I've got workshops and programs and online stuff and products and gifts and giveaways that people can learn how to do these things. So that's where I'm at in terms of coming back into the world and why some people don't know of me.
That's awesome. I'm excited about getting you out there more, because
me too.
There is that, and I think the value too, because we all have a journey, right? And sometimes we're like, this was never a straight line, Mine's like, here, whoop, we got a loop-de-loop, and everyone always wants the straight line. And I'm like, how much fun is that? Because now your little, zoops and loops and everything, had you experienced your children in a way that a lot of people don't get to, right? That's, even though sometimes I feel like I had stepped backwards to move forwards, but the things that I got to do, I have friends and family that are jealous because I got to do things with my children and my husband and my own self that others haven't.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be very candid here. I've said it before, so I'm not like breaking it. But there was a time in my life when I was so exceptionally, wonderfully talented and good at getting exactly what I didn't want.
Yes.
I could create crap like nobody's business. I could, and I never wanted to get married, and I never wanted to have children. I would never have thought I would ever live in the Midwest. And I live in the Midwest. I got married and I have children. And the thing about it, and I'm serious, I ended up in the Midwest as a result of a very, again, another one of these tragic incidents, a very deadly one-car accident where I hit ice and went into a wall and went through the windshield and stuff happened. It was 65 below. It was a huge, and if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have gotten married, wouldn't have kids. I wouldn't have the life that I have. And I didn't want kids, and the woman I met didn't want kids, and then she changed her mind, wanted kids, and I didn't want kids. And then I said, you know what? I learned to do things in my life. I learned to change and adapt. I guess I'll get used to this notion. Okay, we can have kids. The second my daughter was born, my life changed like I couldn't believe. It was the best thing that ever happened. This the moment my son was born. It was the most magical thing that ever happened. I am so thrilled, and I couldn't tell you that looking forward. Yeah. You can only tell that looking backwards, and that's where that looping and the weird stuff and the stuff that a lot of people do is they try and avoid tragedy. And I'm not saying look for tragedy, but inside of every tragedy, as Napoleon Hill has said, and as thought leaders from the dawn of humankind said, are lessons and seeds of opportunity and blessings. And if you learn how to focus on the good, you can reframe anything. You can take any situation about how bad or dire or horrible it is, and you can find something about it that gives you hope, that gives you strength, that gives you confidence and allows you to move forward. And the only way that you ever find that out is through having gone through it.
Right.
You know, so I can shout this from the mountaintops and people go, yeah. But until they have done it, you've all done it. Anyone who's breaking through has had to do this.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the things that I love about that whole experience, because, you know, I've gone through crap. I mean, people are like, I can't believe you've gone through what you've gone through. And just like you were saying, I never was going to get married because I saw what my, you know, the life was for my aunts and my mother and my, you know, this whole people around me. And I'm like, I don't want that life. And yet I got married at 23, found the love of my life. And, you know, we're 27 and a half years later, we're still married. Now, is it always shiny? No, but that's reality. Because it's always about that looping and the movement and the growing and the adjustments but yet it's still fun and you still get to experience something brilliant. So I want people to get in touch with you and get to know you more. Do you have something fabulous you'd like to give our incredible listeners?
I absolutely do. You know, I've got a new book that we're in the process of editing, and it's going to be coming out soon. And I want to give them a couple of free chapters from that. And it's an audio gift. So it's actually me reading from the book. And it's 2 chapters that absolutely can help transform your life. It's called What's Stopping You? And you can get it if you go to my website, which is Daily Inspiration and Gratitude, spelled just like it sounds, dailyinspirationandgratitude.com//free gift. dailyinspirationandgratitude.com/free gift. And if they can't remember that, it's dailyinspirationandgratitude.com, and those above the title page, it'll say free gift. So you can get it either way. You can also find it on my Facebook pages and my Facebook groups and different things like that. And I want to give it away. And there is no upsell on that gift. It is just a gift. So if people want it, they can go and get it and have it and make it their own. It's not that I don't upsell other things, because that's a valuable, it's always about being able to provide people with stuff, but this is an absolutely free gift. I wanted to say something important that you said, and that simply was this. You know, aphorisms and little things that we learn every day have gems of wisdom in them, like the thing, never say never. Is when you think about that, why do you say never say never? They go, well, because you're going to get what you say never to, right? Well, that is the law of attraction in reverse. That's exactly what we're talking about. Saying creating what you don't want, or something along those lines, you know, and it comes from the wisdom and from knowing that what we think and what we say and how we speak to ourselves and how we feel inside, and the questions we ask ourselves, all of that is part of what we do to create. And people always think about abundance and attraction as something that we attract from the universe. And while that's not outside the realm of possibility, because if you look at quantum physics and science, certainly everything works together in an incredible way, and we are all source energy, but we're creators. And when people learn that we're creators and we take ideas and translate them into reality, whether that's the idea of a relationship and getting married, or a job, or I thought of something how about something with 4 legs and a flat surface I could sit on, and we translate it into a chair. Ideas become things, thoughts become things. And so never say never is that intuitive, counterintuitive kind of thing of careful what you wish for, because it's going to happen. And you and I have said we're never going to do things, and we do them. And we learn. But if people get this and then apply it and go, you know what? If I'm so good at creating crap, all I have to do is turn around. I can begin creating really good stuff.
Right.
And what I tell people for the 40 years is creating crap is only a habit. It's what you've learned to do, not you, but what we've all learned to do.
Right.
And so you have to learn new habits. So to go from creating crap to creating your best life ever is by switching your mind and focusing it differently, taking control and doing things differently so that you can move forward in a permanent, powerful, positive way. And that's what most people miss, but it's eminently doable, as you exemplify in many of your guests and the people that we encounter every day. And that's why you and I are here.
Yay. All righty, everybody. So get in touch with Rex immediately and go grab those 2 copies or the audio. I love that.
They get an audio MP3. It's a free MP3 called What's Stopping You. It may or may not say what's stopping you. It's just a free audio MP3 gift. When you get it, you download it and it's yours. They can also get in touch with me if they're interested in anything I do through this email. It's Create Your Best Life with Rex. And that's REX, Create Your Best Life with Rex, just how it sounds, at gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook. There's a Create Your Best Life with Rex on Facebook. And there's other groups that I have, so they can get in touch with me that way. And I love being on your show, and I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Well, I want you to come back on a lot. So,
I will.
Yay!
Yay!
Everybody. So get in touch with Rex and go to the Public Speakers Association. Rex is on there. He's a member, fabulous member. And so you can also hook up with him with all of his social media and then book him for your next event or whatever you've got going on. So thank you, Rex, for being on, and thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next time on the Tonya Hoffman's Fabulous TV Show. Yay! Bye, Rex.
Bye-bye.